host David, and welcome to another episode of Debu Living. We're happy to have with us Canadian actor, writer, and producer Adam Nicholson to the show. Welcome, Adam.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Well, we're glad to have you too. To start us off, can you tell us more about yourself? Like, what made you interested in being an actor and producer?
Okay, what made me interested? So when I was a little kid, I started off wanting to be a child actor, but when I was like 7 years old, I was watching Indiana Jones, and I said to my parents, I'm like, I want to do that. And my parents are like, you want to be like Indiana Jones, like archaeologist, that kind of stuff? I'm like, no, I want to do that. I want to be an actor. I want to do that. And I'm like, and they were like, oh, okay, sure. And so they helped me take lessons and do all that stuff. The problem was, as you have met, and you maybe will see, I'm quite tall. I'm 6'4", and I was 6 feet tall at 12. And my industry, the entertainment industry, is a little bit different when you're a child actor. They want you to be 18 and look 12 and not 12 look 18. So I just studied, I did things, and then, I saw actors, and I admired all the work that they were doing, and I loved that. And that's what I wanted, that's how I got into it.
Well, that's great. Being an actor, you've obviously acted in many instances. What are your favorite, movies or roles that you have participated in, and can you tell us more about them?
Okay, favorite roles. There's so many. I loved everything that I've done and everyone I've worked with. I mean, the first one that comes to mind is one of the first jobs I did was shooting this docudrama, and it was, I think it was A Curious and Unusual Deaths, something like that. And it's a docudrama. It's great, good little money for a beginning actor. But we were shooting out at a drive-in in Hamilton up on the plateau there. And it was my birthday. And I'm like, I'm working on my birthday. I'm doing what I love to do. And we're riding around in the back of a pickup truck. I'm a jock. And I'm like, this is fun. And then other ones, I've done little things on Rogue and In the Dark and everyone I've worked with. And working with friends is also fun. So it's really hard to pinpoint, but pretty much I have never had a job that I haven't liked, and it's always fun. So working on Rogue was a fun experience because I got to work with someone that we had mutual friends, and we discussed about working with her and things like that. And In the Dark, I got to work with other friends. We were out on CBS Studios out in Mississauga, which is out by the airport. Which is very weird to have a set because it's right beside the airport, but you can't hear the planes going by on the outside because they soundproofed it. But you go inside and it's just dead quiet. That's a long roundabout thing, but yeah. So I can't really say any one in particular.
Right.
There was one I did up in Parry Sound, and I worked with Natasha Henstridge. That was a fun one because we had fake rain coming down, and I was playing a police officer in a car. And I just remember watching Natasha Henstridge as a kid and all the movies and things like that. And so I'm sitting there and I'm working with someone I, haven't met before. And it's I remember her as a kid, me being a kid watching it. It's okay. Yeah. And every experience is a good one.
Well, that's great. We could tell that you're passionate about what you do. So how do you usually prepare for a scene beforehand? Are there any things that you particularly do?
I don't know whether there's anything special that I do, but when I do preparation for a role, I usually get the script, or as much as I can of it, and because nowadays there's NDAs, etc. But I look through and I try and read every little bit because you have the stage directions and you have all the character lines. You figure out everything you figure out how it all goes, and then you try and research who else you're with in the project. And how that's going to be, because that'll help dictate, okay, who's the lead? Who am I acting against? And figure that. And then you develop the character and you find what are the relation, how can you relate to that character and how to make that character the most truthful, realistic, believable person so the audience forgets that you're an actor playing that part.
Right. So you need to live the action, right? So you need to actually live it in your mind before acting it out, right?
Yeah, basically, yeah.
So bringing us back to this point, do you have any actors that inspire you, or role models in life that you are inspired by or you admire?
I mean, that's a huge list. Like, I figured you'd ask me this question, so I was thinking about it. I'm just like, who would I mean, going Indiana Jones, as I mentioned, Harrison Ford. I mean, he's
That's more
such
the
an amazing.
adventure side.
Yeah, but I mean, like, just as a role model, like, it's like, oh, I'd love to have his career. I'd love to do the projects that he's done. And then there's other people, and there's people I would love to work with. That's probably even a longer list of people. Like, I mean,
Any names you can throw out here and there?
oh, I mean, there's dream names. I'd love to work with Steven Spielberg or Christopher Nolan or like anybody, even like Brandon Cronenberg here in Canada. I'd love to work with him. And so there's all these big directors that are just, and actors. I'd just love to have the opportunity, and hopefully that'll come to fruition.
Yeah, we wish you that as well.
Thank
Do
you.
you have any favorite movies that you like to watch?
So as this is going to become a common theme, obviously Indiana Jones. I'm the typical guy's guy, so I like action stuff. But beyond that, like this is a little bit older now, but Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy, good thinking dramas are fun for me to watch and entertaining to watch how the story weaves and keeps you on your feet, and you're not sure where it's, in a good way, where it's going to go. A lot of films these days are very predictable, and even series to be. So anything that is interesting and different, and I saw recently Black Bag, and that one was that was very well done, and it's just interesting. So yeah, probably in this sort of like the spy thriller type thing, and that might explain what other projects I've gotten into writing as well.
Nice. What would you say is your biggest accomplishment, like personally or professionally?
Well, I would be remiss to say that to me, when you ask me that question, I think of my kids. So I have two boys, and I just love spending time with them. And my amazing wife, their mother, we spend so much time, we enjoy our time together, we play. And to me, that is my accomplishment. And everything else I do is just icing. But that is the core
Right.
for me.
And kids are a lifetime investment, as they say.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Yes. Can you tell us about your obviously you do volunteer work. Can you tell us about your work with the Easter Seals Project?
Yeah, so I worked with Easter Seals. So I'm a member of the Royal Canadian Yacht Club. So I'm still a sailor, but I'm a sailor. And Easter Seals used to have, and they still do, a regatta where we basically bring kids out, put them on boats, give them an opportunity to enjoy other things that they may not normally get an opportunity. So that's always been something that's been close to me. Easter Seals, or giving back to communities and things. So Easter Seals, what we would do is we would run a charity event to raise money to send kids off to the Easter Seals camp. And so this, I think, what we probably raised one of last year's, was it like $60,000 or more, I think? A fair bit of money. And that provided, I think, was it 2 weeks or more of summer camp for a couple of kids. And so that was a very rewarding experience, and I'd love to do more. I just, it's finding the time, but obviously it's a big thing that I enjoy.
That's great. Do you have any hobbies that you like to participate in? Like,
Well, I think
besides acting, we know you're
yeah.
passionate about acting.
Yeah, besides acting, producing, writing, hobbies, I told you I'm a father of two kids. That kind of fills up most of my time, but sailing is a big hobby. That was more than a hobby for me for a little while. I was on the Canadian sailing team, and I did a campaign for the Olympics. I was sailed the Finn, which is the men's Olympic heavyweight single-hander. It's 14 and a half feet long. I sailed that for, competitively for about 6 years, and I did well, and I had a lot of fun, and I still have the boat. It's still my favorite boat to sail. It's painful as all get out, lots of hard work, but I still do that. And then third-degree black belt Taekwondo, and I play lots of tennis, and as long as I am learning something or picking up a new skill, I am always happy. And so that's what keeps me involved. Yeah, so that's basically my hobbies.
That's great. So what's next for you? Like, are there any projects that you'd like to tell us more about that you're currently working on?
So right now, I'm getting more into the producing side and the writing. And we have producing side, we have a feature film called The Farm that we're just putting the financing together for. That's a Canada-Korea co-production. And so we're doing that. We've got a K-pop star that's interested, and it's about a Korean former K-pop star that's emigrates to Canada with her boyfriend. And they go to an AI-run farm, and it's basically a parable of mental health and mythology of both cultures in Canada and Korea. And it's a thriller horror film, very interesting one, bunch of awards. And then we have another project that we originally wrote as a feature, and it's called The Circle, and it's another Canada-Korea co-pro. There's a very good treaty between the two countries, so we're just trying to make best use of that. So it's called The Circle, and it's about a Korean female detective and a Canadian male psychologist team up to rescue her niece, his son, from a puritanical international cult. There's gangsters and cults and just all of this parent-child dynamics, and it's won, I don't know, like 5 or 6 awards as a screenplay. And as we're pitching it, people are sitting there saying, "Oh, you know what? This is really good as a feature film, but you know what would be better? You should make it as a series." And so we're like, "Oh, okay." So now we're pitching it around as a series, and we've got it as 8 episodes as a series, and we've got lots of interest. There's a name star on that I can't really, that's interested in doing that I can't mention here, but we've probably watched his shows and stuff like that. But yeah, so we'll see. Just trying to, it's one of the things about this industry, as you may or may not know, and it goes with every industry, it's just raising money. It's finding the money, and that's the hardest thing. And we're trying to get everything pieced together to get the treaty going, and then we can get tax credits and all the other fun things.
That's nice. Any release dates or any platforms that these movies are going to be released in? Or
we haven't shot them yet, so we're just we have to get the money together before we film that. So hopefully the Farm I was mentioning, we'll start filming that probably later this summer, and that should be ready for release probably in February or March of next year, 2026. And then the series, hopefully we can get that going and film it next year, and then it'd probably be like spring 2026 or 2027. So yeah.
That's great. Well, it was nice having you over in the show, Mr. Adam Nicholson. It was a great chat, and we wish you all the best, of course, and we had the pleasure of talking to you. Are there anything that you like to conclude by saying before we wrap up?
I just want to say thank you very much for having me, and if, of course, I'd be remiss not to say this. If any of you are ever interested in investing in our things, my production company is Jackal Films, and we're looking for investors. We're starting up an investment fund for feature films and series projects, so check it out. And yeah, well, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you all for joining us, and please join us for another episode of Debu Living. My name is David, your co-host, and we'll stay tuned for another episode of Debu Living. Thank you so much.